Hello everyone, this is Inderpreet Shoker with ARC Advisory Group. And today we are in conversation with Bryan Saunders. Bryan is the Global Director of Industry Consulting at SAS. Welcome, Bryan.
Thank you for having me.
So Bryan, I want to start off our conversation by talking about a challenge that we often hear from end users, and it's that they have a lot of data. They have a lot of data, but it's tough for them to get insights out of that data. And a lot of these end users are looking at AI, analytics to help them with this data challenge. What about at SAS? Are you guys adopting AI, analytics? Are you trying to embed these into your other solutions as well to help end users with their data challenge?
Yeah, so SAS, we're actually celebrating our 50th year in 2026. And our whole purpose, our DNA, is really around data, analytics, and driving the decisions that matter for industry, whether that be industrials or in adjacent domains. And we've taken that technology and really tried to create vertically oriented solutions to address not just the data challenges, not just the AI challenge, but how do you drive better business decision making? Within that, we probably focus on kind of 6 key areas, I would say, in the industrials. Predictive maintenance is common. We hear that often in every customer engagement we have. Manufacturing quality, folks now from sustainability, they're trying to lower energy consumption, energy cost optimization. A lot around worker safety, and then kind of beyond that into supply chain and aftermarket services and things of that nature. So we've embedded AI into those vertically oriented solutions, but again, that horizontal platform that we've offered for 50 years continues to evolve and get easier to use with co-pilots and other new innovations to make that sort of data to analytic to deployment process just a little bit easier for organizations.
That's great. You know, you have both options because there are a lot of end users out there. For them, it's easier to consume AI when it's embedded in solutions that they are already having. So that's great to know.
Yes.
Another thing I wanted to discuss with you is that a lot of time end users talk about the workforce challenges that they have. Sometimes they are just not able to find enough people, or there is a skills gap. Do you think your solutions can help end users with the workforce challenges as well?
Yeah, we certainly see that challenge. I mean, the reality is a lot of kind of insight and knowledge is leaving the workforce. And so how organizations are trying to find new and creative ways to overcome that challenge. One being they're investing more into documentation, knowledge management platforms. But the problem with those is that 80 to 90% of enterprise data is unstructured already, and a fraction of it is actually analyzed or used by AI or ML. So we've seen that challenge, and we've invested to develop a new solution last year called SAS Retrieval Agent Manager that's really helping them take advantage of these growing reams of unstructured data and being more compliant with some of these emerging agentic AI trends that we're seeing in the market.
That's very interesting. Bryan, can you shed a little more light on why do you think your solution is different from other, edge data collection solutions out there?
Yeah, I think, first, the good news about like the RAG-based architectures, retrieval augmented generation, they're all designed to really overcome one of the biggest challenges with kind of our sort of consumer perception of agentic AI. It's not just a chatbot, and it's not a chatbot based on publicly available information. This is really curated and tailored to your truth, your operational context. And so I think that's pretty ubiquitous. The difference is how you get there. A lot of organizations, if you pay attention, there's lots of competing services, lots of competing options out there. Organizations are investing to take this journey on their own, but it's challenging. It's orchestrating a lot of complex services from different embedding models, different retrieval models, different compression techniques, different cloud services, et cetera. So we tried to make that journey very easy with no-code UI to help with the document collections, the preparation, as well as the agentic side, deploying, managing, and observing your agents in production. That being one area, the bigger area that I think is really the flexibility and operational resiliency of the solution. It doesn't matter which cloud service you may be operating in. Are you in an AWS environment or an Azure environment? Are you wanting to run on-premise? Are you using which LLM providers, which endpoints do you want to navigate? And a lot of solutions today sort of lock you into a path, very inflexible to change. And we give you that flexibility and freedom to choose whether you want to take advantage of kind of the emerging benefits that Anthropic or Olama, AWS Bedrock, Azure Foundry, or if you want to go even a different direction on-prem using some of the small language model technologies that are emerging. Again, just giving you that flexibility so you're not locked in, future-proofing your investments. So you have that right to change without completely re-architecting your full foundation.
That's great. So Bryan, say from the perspective of an operations engineer or a maintenance engineer, what do you think the benefits are there with SAS Retrieval Agent Manager?
Yeah, so my background, so I'm a mechanical engineer, spent a lot of time doing remote monitoring and diagnostics of heavy industrial assets. And sort of the traditional process is you generate an alert, an engineer receives that alert, starts evaluating data, historic work instructions, maintenance manuals to try to determine what is that root cause, why did this event happen, and what corrective action should I be driving. This is where agentic, sort of merging with legacy practices of sort of analyzing just the time series data streams for predictive maintenance has really evolved. So now when an alert gets generated, it's not just a raw alert. It can be bounced against that Retrieval Agent Manager API service so that it can evaluate all that unstructured data context to provide back what is likely root cause, corrective action plans. It can trigger agents to do automated case management, order parts, et cetera. So that's really exciting from kind of a broader agentic play. And again, that's just kind of one example of how this sort of technology is transforming the industry.
Bryan, some of the advanced use cases that we hear from end users include predictive maintenance, digital twins, AI-based operations. Is SAS also thinking of helping end user with some of these initiatives?
Yeah, we certainly continue to monitor what the market needs and how we can make that journey a little more frictionless for them. On the digital twin front, we've always looked at sort of the analytics, the models, the forecastings, the optimizations, as a form of a digital twin, but we've bolstered that with a relationship with Epic Games and using their Unreal Engine to create digital ecosystems of your environment, and that's been used for AGV optimization and route planning within industrial settings. We've used it to generate synthetic data to create better models at a much lower price point than capturing that data in the real world. You can test so many different scenarios. And we've used that actually from that synthetic data perspective to create a new solution around worker safety, using cameras to monitor employee interactions with energized assets. Are they in a prohibitive space? Are they being compliant with PPE? Those type of scenarios. And so it has definitely been a force multiplier there. So sort of from a digital twin, synthetic data generation, we continue to invest heavily in just generalized streaming AI services, being able to deploy and scale these insights where you need them within your enterprise architectures.
That sounds very cool as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Bryan. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much.